Hello, everyone. Welcome in to Post Show Headlines Monday, April the 28th.
Yes.
Shout out to my man Jimmy. His birthday was yesterday. It's the only reason why I know today's the 28th.
Jimmy don't like that.
Yesterday was the 27th.
Happy birthday, Jimmy.
All right, so Post Show Headlines, 5 topics, 2 minutes each, and then we get out of here. You have 3 of them, so you did the bulk of the work today. I appreciate it.
It's easy.
I'm going to start, though, because,
You start.
why wouldn't I?
You start. Consider you just wrote yours on the back like you did your homework in high school.
I put yours on here, too.
2 seconds before class started.
Yeah, I do it every single day this way. All right, so earlier today we talked about, obviously, the NFL draft. We went through some of the grades and how people analyze it. How much of somebody's draft opinion do you actually value? And it doesn't matter who it is, from the Mel Kipers of the world to the guy that's trying to write a blog because he's trying to start his own website, which do that. Do your blog, do your podcast, do all that.
It's a way to get experience.
How much of somebody's draft opinion do you actually value?
Tell me who they are, and then I'll tell you. Daniel Jeremiah, I value. A guy who's been a scout in the NFL, a guy who has been a media personality, a guy who literally as part of his paycheck devotes 2/3 of his time every year to the draft. Right. That guy I pay attention to. I want to know college football experts. That's why the other night when I had all the choices, and I did listen to our coverage from the Fanatic also, but I'm listening to Nick Saban and Kirk Herbstreit. They were the 2 analysts on the one broadcast. I said, that's the one I'm watching because I guarantee you they know more about college football than the majority of the draft analysts do that don't cover the games, talk to the coaches and everything. So that's where it is. It all depends on the person. It's the messenger to me. Not the message, it's the messenger. And I do not let my opinion be negatively swayed or positively swayed by someone going, oh, I love the Eagles draft. I got to hear who it is.
Yeah, but if you like a player and then they give you more reasons why to like the player to the point where you might love the player, I mean, that will sway you a little bit.
Here's what I'm going to say is, if you didn't know a player's name on Friday, and you're going to tell me on Monday, oh, I love the pick. It's a great pick. I got you. You didn't know who the hell that person was on Friday. I don't take your opinion or the person's opinion. It's the people who really cover those people that I'll listen to.
Right, but let's say you like Jahad Campbell, and I know you
I love Jahad Campbell.
But then Saban starts talking about why he was being recruited.
Right.
Does that not add to
Yeah. Well, it does because it's Nick Saban.
Right.
That's what I say. It's the messenger, not the message.
Okay. You have a 2026 draft question. We're already doing 2026?
Yeah, okay.
Who's the first round pick?
I want to know if you're saying how many first round picks do you think? No. You saw the festivities in Green Bay going on the TV today.
It looked great, by the way.
Do we road trip it to Pittsburgh for the 2026 draft and do shows from Pittsburgh? Does that interest? Sure. It's a 5.5-hour drive, but does anything about the mob scene and everything attract you? To me, I look at it and it says it looks like a nightmare.
Oh, do I want to be around the people?
Do you want to be in the mound, the people at the draft? Do you want to go to the draft? Would you want to be a part of that energy? And the thing now, I don't know what it does for you.
Yeah,
stand there and listen to picks.
Look, I had a blast when it was in Philly.
Okay.
I was here.
So tell me more about it. Maybe you can sway my opinion.
So I was technically on the clock, even though I didn't get paid an extra $1. I was on the clock for the station, running the social media, obviously being there for picks 1 through 32, whoever the Eagles were going to select, which was Derek Barnett, by the way.
Okay.
We knew that Hassan Reddick was going to be drafted in the first round, so I was supposed to be sort of around Hassan Reddick because obviously it's a Philadelphia, it's a local story. But being around their draft day, and obviously it's hometown, right? And
sure.
It was really cool. And to see that everyone behaved was awesome,
and
right?
Huge crowd.
Huge crowd. And I thought they did a great job building that up. I like seeing what it's going to look like without all the people there. And we had that luxury, right? I produced a show that was on site at the draft. It was the midday show. And so we were there before the sea of people got there. So I was able to see what they did, all the different events, all the different experiences. So I would like to go and see that, but does that do anything specifically for the show? No.
See, being in the midst of in the parade, where we saw the parade from, was freaking amazing.
Yeah.
At the Cambria Hotel downtown and everything was amazing. Being amidst the sea of bodies Not for me. Just wouldn't be for me.
I thought
And I
it was
wouldn't find
Cambria
it
Hotel.
enjoyable.
Cambria? Yeah, you corrected me on that 1,000 times.
Could be. Yeah, it's because it's Cambria countertops. That is correct.
Well, my, how
There
the
you go.
turntables
There you go.
for my office.
How the
friends out there.
turntables?
You see, number
How
one.
the table turns?
How
you
that,
mean?
he didn't watch The Office.
There you go.
That's why I said
No,
for my.
I
Thank you,
didn't.
Dylan
No,
gets it.
I didn't.
My, how
No,
the
I didn't.
turntables.
No, I didn't.
It's like the.
I've seen the endless thousands of memes, though. For a show that I've watched probably 30, 40 episodes, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Liked it. Didn't think it was transformational to my
love
comedic
that show. Because you have a lot of that. You have a general sports-related question.
Yes, I wonder if you're finally going to admit it.
What we got?
It's something that's talked about every year, but it's absolutely factual if people would just evaluate it not from their own fandom, just from the event. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs are better than the NBA playoffs, and it's not close. It's not close.
Depends on how you look at it.
Well, are you going to look at it as an NBA fan, or are you going to look at it just objectively the quality of the product and the games and how the games are?
Well, no, the games are great in the NBA. It's just the better team usually prevails, which is why the better team can win a series in 5, but all 5 games could come down to the wire.
How many great games have there been so far in the NBA playoffs?
Pistons, Knicks, out of 4 games, 3 of them have been great.
You count yesterday? Because I watched around 2 quarters of that game. It was not good basketball. It was halfway through the third quarter. It was like 52-51. It wasn't great defense.
That's Knicks' brand of basketball.
It was terrible offensive game, and it was clubbing each other.
Yeah, Knicks basketball. 3 out of the 4 Knicks Pistons games have been very good. 3 out of the 4 Lakers Timberwolves games have been very good. 1 out of the 4 Thunder games have been good. There was obviously
that was the one tight game that came back.
The Cavs Heat series, and I knew it would go as quick as it has.
Did you?
Yeah.
After what the Heat do every year in the playoffs to everybody else?
I didn't believe in the Heat at all.
I thought it would still go like 5 or 6.
They traded away their best
minimum.
player in the middle of the season. He forced his way out.
Right.
But no, the series have been very entertaining. I get what you're saying, though, because an 8th seed in the NHL actually has a chance of the first-round matchup.
Correct.
So if you're asking me first-round playoff, and I love playoff hockey.
I'm taking the playoffs as a whole.
Yeah.
The Stanley Cup playoffs as a whole, the NBA as a whole.
Sure.
It's not close.
Sure.
It isn't close.
But I do have a preference, and my preference is the NBA.
Because you're a fan. That's who you're fan. That's what I said. If it's not fandom, if it's just an objective, say, sports-wise.
Yeah, but these basketball playoffs have been entertaining. Don't let the series wins versus losses dictate that, because the games have been very close. All right. Earlier, our man Brendan Gunn, during today's headlines, aired the weird CBS Sunday News interview with Hoodie.
That's crazy.
And his girlfriend's in the background when he's being asked how the two of you meet. And she shut it down as if she's like his PR person, which that is, I think, her role at UNC now. I forget. She's doing something with the team, social media,
assistant
PR,
to the head coach,
all that
or
kind of
something
stuff.
like that. I don't want to read the job description, though.
I'm just going to ask this question. How does it go for Hoodie and UNC? Like, how does it go? Like, I don't know how long he's going to be there.
Right.
Is he Bill Belichick? The guy that ran a dynasty and one of the most successful teams in the history of the NFL with the New England Patriots. Is he that guy? Because now, if you're Bill Belichick, you can talk down to college students and coach them up. Or is this kind of more of a gag and it's just going to be a mess?
Is he a great coach? Still?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to find out.
I think he's a great coach. But the problem is in college football, 95% of the time, the team with more talent wins the game.
Right. But recruiting, somebody might want to play for Bill Belichick.
But he's not recruiting enough to get North Carolina to be up with. North Carolina will never be with the top half talent teams in the SEC.
They've been nationally ranked.
Yeah, but they would
years.
never have as much talent as half of the SEC.
Right. So
probably half of the Big Ten.
But considering UNC, like if Temple won 5 games this year,
we'd be thrilled.
We'd be high-fiving.
Oh, no, we'd be
high-fiving.
I mean?
So UNC, if they go from
but I've seen them have 9 wins, 10 wins, 8 wins.
Right, and if he continues that, like I don't know if this is going to just completely blow up.
I don't see
the Tar Heels phase.
I don't see it working.
There's too much going on right now. And I'm not blaming the relationship. That's just a part of it, though. Like, that is a part of the storyline. How focused is Bill Belichick? He's doing interviews. He can't even answer certain questions.
Right. He can't because he's being told what to do. I got to tell you this, is that if my own child told me, Dad, don't answer that, I'd say, excuse me.
Yeah.
Mind your place. She's not to answer for him. And by the way, I think he would have slipped. And it does appear that they met. She was working in Vegas. Doesn't mean she was a call girl.
Right.
Doesn't mean she was
a lot of people are going to that.
But it does appear she was working in Vegas. Could have been a cocktail waitress.
None of us are pulling any Pat McAfees here.
No, not doing that. That's and more importantly, I don't care where they met.
Right.
But the thing is, it's a question that should not. They made it a story by being
not
so obsessed with it.
Right.
So.
All right. Lastly, you have something about the two of us.
Let's be self-evaluation here. To be honest.
Okay.
If a listener was being honest, as far as listening to us, where is our insight and opinion most valuable?
Oh, we have a lot to say.
Is it talking? Is it talk? You think for you, if you had to say most valuable to least valuable?
Baseball is my most valuable.
Most valuable. So your insight on baseball.
Yeah, because I played it, and I played it at a high level. Like I played legitimate organized baseball, not just Little League, right?
And then where would you go second?
So I'll say this: 10 years ago, when I first started working here,
right,
basketball would have been number 2 in terms of knowledge over football.
Sure.
But because of this job,
right,
you can't fake football.
No.
In this city,
you can't.
You can't fake football. Like if somebody walked on one of these airways and barely watches football, you'll get exposed.
No, you can't fake it.
You'll get exposed really quickly. So I studied more football since working here, learning not just route trees, right? But like the ins and outs of football, how they analyze players, drafts, and all that kind of stuff. Like I wasn't watching the draft 15 years ago.
Okay, so if you're talking about the game or are you talking about the sport?
This overall
because
sport.
Like, I mean, for football, if we're talking about X's and O's, I don't consider myself extremely high on the X's and O's.
Right, I got you.
But if you talk about football as a whole and how things are run and how things are done, I consider myself very high on that.
Yeah.
If I consider myself hockey-wise, the X's and O's,
you're all about
you can do that with the X's and O's.
Well, that's why baseball.
Baseball, it's more, to me, it's more of understanding how a baseball organization works.
Yeah. And
just doing the research and talking to people and things like that. Because it really is hard because I think to myself, like, when I watch basketball as a fan.
Gotcha.
And honestly, if I'm a listener, don't take anything I say about the NBA
don't worry,
or college basketball more than anything is just I watch the games and I'm an entertained fan.
I'll go.
Because I don't spend the time to get educated the way that I have about the other sports.
Baseball, football, basketball, hockey.
There you go.
That's how I'll answer it.
That's a good hierarchy.
And plus, maybe sometime people will start listening to my baseball acumen because
maybe
Brandon Marsh, I've told you about, a lot of the pitchers and relievers, and like Tommy Joseph wasn't going to be a good first baseman. Like one day you'll listen to me.
One day. I'm glad you're taking ownership of the Brandon Marsh thing that I've been saying for 3 years, and I like the kid.
I said when they traded for him.
It's just
unbelievable. I like the trade.
Still can't get over it.
Sorry, Johnny Baseball.
I still can't get over it.
One day Connor will listen to us.
Oh, yes, he'll listen.
One day.
No, he won't. Now he's in the afternoons doing
right.
stuff for a few weeks.
Yeah. Everybody have a great rest of your day. We'll be back at it tomorrow on Post Show Headlines and, of course, starting at 6 o'clock on the air of Kincade and Salciunas. See you guys. Hey, guys. Andrew Salciunas from Kincade and Salciunas. Thank you for checking out all of our stuff on YouTube. Make sure you click, like, subscribe on everything that you see. And, of course, you can see everything from our YouTube feed. Full shows, interviews, when John's being an idiot, which is like 15 times a day. So make sure you check out all of our stuff on YouTube. We appreciate it.